Why do we keep making promises to ourselves that we don't follow through on? It's like this annual ritual we all know too well, right? Whether it's a New Year's resolution, a birthday commitment, or a fresh start on a Monday, we promise ourselves something big. This is the year I'm going to learn a new language. I'm finally going to start that side hustle. I'll quit sugar and hit the gym 5 times a week. And yet, what happens? A week passes, maybe 2, and then nothing. Life goes back to normal. Those promises drift off into the same mental space as the last year's goal, and the cycle repeats. Sounds familiar, huh? So why does it happen? Why do we keep failing ourselves? Are we just lazy? Indisciplined? Or is something bigger going on behind the scenes? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of self-promises. Together, we'll uncover why our brains resist change, how to break through mental blocks, and what it takes to actually stick to those commitments we make to ourselves. If you're new here, I'm Daria, entrepreneur, polyglot, in love with self-development and healthy tips. Don't forget to subscribe if you're also interested in these topics. Let's start with the biggest myth. It's not all about willpower. A lot of us blame ourselves for not having enough self-discipline. But here's the truth. Your brain is working against you. When you make a promise to yourself, like, I'm going to write a book, your brain gets excited. It starts releasing dopamine, the neurotransmitter that makes you feel good about achieving goals. But here's the problem. Your brain can't tell the difference between imagining the goal and actually achieving it. Just thinking about the published book on the shelf gives you a mini dopamine hit, as you've already done the work. And where's the problem? That boost of motivation is short-lived. When it's time to actually sit down and write, your brain switches gears. Now, it's not about dreaming, it's about effort, and effort means uncertainty, risk, and the potential for failure. Your brain goes into survival mode. Why risk discomfort when we can stay safe and comfortable like here? And just like that, procrastination kicks in. It's not you being lazy, it's your brain trying to protect you from stress. And how do we hack this system? Start small and start now. Here's the thing about big dreams. They can feel overwhelming. Your brain sees this massive goal and thinks, that's going to take forever. Why even start? But what if you broke that big dream into tiny, manageable steps? Instead of saying, I'm going to write a book, you say, I'm going to write 1 paragraph today. That's it, just 1 paragraph. This simple shift does 2 things. First, it lowers the brain's resistance to starting because the task feels easy actually. Second, it builds momentum. Once you start, it's easier to keep going. Think of it like dipping your toes into cold water. The hardest part is getting in, but once you're there, you adapt, you can swim in the cold water. The same goes for chasing your goals. Visualize the process, not just the result. We all love daydreaming about the finish line. Imagine how amazing life will be when we finally hit our major goal. But here is the problem. When you focus too much on the end result, you can trick your brain into thinking the hard part is already over. Dreaming, we create an illusion that we are already moving towards the goal. We fantasize how we will live when the dream comes true and we get a dopamine boost. Well, actually, there are no real steps. But the brain feels as if some work has already been done. Instead, shift your focus to the process. If your goal is to learn a new language, picture yourself enjoying the journey, practicing with a tutor, watching foreign movies, laughing at your mistakes, and celebrating small wins. When you find joy in the process, you're more likely to stick with it. Remember, progress isn't always glamorous, but it is what gets you to your dreams. And what about fear of failure? If we are being honest, fear is one of the biggest reasons we don't follow through on our promises. Fear of failing, fear of wasting time, fear of what others might think if we don't succeed, and so on. This fear isn't irrational, it's wired into us. Back in the day, failure could mean exile from the tribe, and being alone was a death sentence. While modern life isn't quite as dramatic, your brain actually still reacts to failure like it's a life or death situation. The key to overcoming this fear is to redefine what failure means. Failure isn't a dead end, it's feedback. Each misstep teaches you something valuable about what works and what doesn't. The most successful people didn't avoid failure, they learned from it. Concretize your goals. Another reason we don't stick to our promises is that our goals are too vague. I want to get fit. Yeah, sounds great. But what does that actually mean? Does it mean running 3 times a week? Going a yoga class? Cutting back on sugar? What does it mean? The more specific your goal, the easier is it for your brain to proceed. Instead of saying, I want to save money, say I'll save $50 every Friday for the next 6, 10, 12 months. Instead of I want to start a business, say I'll spend 1 hour tomorrow brainstorming new ideas. When your brain knows exactly what to do, it stops resisting. Don't forget about the process, find joy in the journey. Here's another mistake we make. We focus so much on the destination that we forget to enjoy the ride. If every step feels like a chore, it's only a matter of time before you burn out. Instead of it, find ways to make the process rewarding. If you are learning a skill, surround yourself with resources and people that inspire you. If you're working toward a long-term goal, celebrate small milestones along the way. Success isn't just about reaching the top of the mountain, it's about the person you become along the climb. The big takeaway: be kind to yourself. If you have broken promises to yourself before, you're not alone. It doesn't mean you're lazy or incapable, it just means you're human. Start small, be specific, focus on the process. And most importantly, don't let fear hold you back. And here's my challenge for you. Write down one dream you've been putting off and the smallest step you can take toward it already today. Share it in the comments and I would love to cheer you on. And of course, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and stick around. We've got lots to talk about when it comes to building the life you have always wanted to achieve. See you next time. Thank you for your precious time.